Hey guys, Andy here. Doing a little research about steering and servos and stuff. So I wanted to try and attempt to gain a little bit more steering out of my Emacs. Forgive me, this is my first attempt at doing sort of a how-to video. So of course, here's my Emacs. The only really upgrade to the steering that I've done recently is I put the 2075 servos in, as opposed to the stock 2056. But still, the steering is only really limited to what the transmitter will allow it to turn. In theory, a servo will go 360 degrees. It's receiving a signal from the transmitter through the receiver as to how far it will actually throw. And I'll try and illustrate that. Let me move the camera over here. Best way I can show you is if you will look here where the tire comes by the turnbuckle right here, how the distance. This is all stock. Go ahead and turn the steering. I'm going to try and get right over top. There is easily a good 1/4 inch gap still between the tire and the turnbuckle. Now, if I just simply take off the wheel, and you'll see that there are stops right and left, of course, that correspond on the wheel itself. Now, what I was playing around doing is simply take a little pliers. Now, if I turn and I even take it beyond that set point, that stop, that plastic hard stop, there is a point where the steering will just stop responding altogether. That's how the mechanism and everything is set up inside. I don't think there's a whole lot I can do about that. But I don't know if you can really tell. Now there's only about 1/8 of an inch gap. And I'm not really sure how that correlates to what type of degree turn that it'll gain, but my thought is, what I'm going to try and do, and I'm sure Traxxas is going to love me for voiding out a warranty on a radio. I don't know if this will or not, but what I'm going to attempt to do is, with a Dremel and X-Acto knife and stuff, I'm just going to simply trim a little bit off of each side. And I've also already got into the manual, and I've already set, or I will reset to the max endpoints just to make sure. I know it's not a big gain, but nonetheless it is a gain, and if you're like me and think that the steering is somewhat limited, it might be something you want to think about doing. We'll go ahead and get this thing going here. Be back in just a minute. Unmodified steering. Oops. Alright, let's go do some modifying. Alright guys, well, my apologies, jumping around on the video a little bit, but I wanted to go ahead and sort of document what the stock steering looked like and how it worked. Again, what I'm going to attempt to do, and they don't have to do much, is I'm going to attempt to take off just a little bit of the edge. So I got my little hobby knife kind of heated up. I'm going to try and do a hot cut on here. Like I said, just a little trim. It's not going to be much. I decided to try this as opposed to the Dremel. Okay, well, I went ahead and I got it all trimmed up. I'm not sure how well you can see that. My camera's not wanting to focus very well. But I got it trimmed up. I'm going to go ahead and clean it up a little bit, file it, make sure it's all smooth. I will say one thing, if you're going to try and do heat, be careful not to overheat. Get the hot parts, the other part of the plastic, of course Dremel too. And the other thing, quite certain, if you want to try and do this and it works out, pretty certain you just voided the warranty on the radio. So bear that in mind before you start hacking and cutting. Alright, let me clean this up and we'll give it a test. Alright, well, I just finished the trimming up the knob, so let's see if we gained any type of turning radius. I don't know. That's max left. Looks tighter to me. Max right. I think that gained me a little bit of turning radius. I like it.